They returned, but they were never the same. Wang and Shen Yue's shocking comeback after their honeymoon vanishing. It was as if the world had hit pause. For 41 days, there had been no sightings, no updates, no posts. Just silence. Deafening, heart-wrenching silence. Not a single word from Wang or Shen Yue since they disappeared the night after their private wedding. Fans scoured every corner of the internet. Satellite images, flight records, insider whispers. Nothing led anywhere. Until it did. It began with a blurred photo that shattered the internet. A grainy snapshot taken outside a secluded airfield in Seoul showed a black SUV, tinted windows rolled down just enough to reveal two faces. One was Dylan. The other, Shen Yue. Worn out, but together. No smiles. No wave to the camera. Just an energy that felt different. Heavy. Almost haunted. What had happened to them? That question exploded across every platform. Headlines screamed their return. Fans cried and speculated. YouTubers made hour-long theories. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could prepare the world for the truth. Because that night, something appeared on Shen Yue's channel. Not a vlog. Not a teaser. Not a behind-the-scenes clip. It was titled only, "Before You Ask Us Anything." And it opened with silence. A long, empty silence before the screen lit up, showing a cabin lit by firelight. No production crew. No makeup. Just raw life. Dylan sat on one side of a battered wooden sofa, Shen Yue on the other, both dressed in oversized sweaters. Their eyes were tired. Not just from lack of sleep, but from everything they had endured. Shen Yue spoke first. "We didn't run away. We were forced to leave." She took a breath, looked down at her hands, and continued. "When we planned our honeymoon, we picked a small island. No paparazzi. No staff. Just us. We thought it would be peaceful. But from the moment we landed, we knew something was off." Dylan leaned forward, fingers laced tightly. "We saw cameras. Hidden ones. Not regular security. These were planted. Targeted. And then we found the messages." Shen Yue pulled out a stack of printed papers. Emails. Texts. Documents marked with confidential stamps. "They wanted to control everything," she said. "From how we posed to how we spoke. Even what kind of photos we could share as husband and wife." Dylan's voice grew firmer. "They didn't want us to be real. They wanted a product. A fantasy. But we were never theirs to mold." For the next 15 minutes, they exposed the darkest corners of the industry. Things they had endured in silence for years. From forced public moments to hidden recording contracts. From stylists who fed false stories to managers who threatened their families if they refused certain roles. It was a world built on performance, not just on screen, but in life. Then came the twist. Dylan stood up, walked off screen, and returned with a flash drive. He held it in front of the camera. "We took this from the island. It contains everything. Every conversation they thought we didn't hear. Every photo they thought we wouldn't find." He looked directly into the lens. "If anything happens to us again, this goes public. Every file. Every face." The video ended with silence again. But not the same kind of silence. This one was loaded with tension, fury, and unity. Fans were shaken. Thousands took to social media with one question. Who is behind this? Who would go that far just to control a love story? The very next morning, 2 major entertainment executives stepped down. No explanations. No press conferences. Just quiet exits and quickly wiped social profiles. And then, a message appeared on Dylan's Instagram. Just 5 words. "They thought we were weak." It went viral in minutes. But things didn't stop there. Later that week, a second video appeared. This one wasn't shot in a cabin. It was filmed in a vast theater, empty, except for Dylan and Shen Yue standing under a single spotlight. They looked stronger. Not tired. Not shaken. But steady. And Shen Yue said something that shook the world. "We were almost broken. Almost. But we're done hiding." Dylan added, "They wanted us to choose between love and our careers. We choose truth. We choose each other." And then, the lights went out. The screen turned black, and white text appeared. The story begins now. The video ended, but the story didn't, because within 24 hours, fans across the globe launched campaigns in support. Hashtags like #WeStandWithDylan and Shen Yue and #RealLoveIsNotScripted were trending. YouTubers, bloggers, and even actors began reposting their video. But while the world rallied behind them, Dylan and Shen Yue disappeared again. Not because they were hiding. This time it was because they were creating. 2 weeks later, they returned with a trailer. Their own production. Their own studio. Their own rules. The project was titled simply, Unwritten. The trailer was raw, emotional, a blend of fiction and fact. A couple trapped in a contract, forced to perform their love, until they broke free and rewrote everything. The final shot of the trailer showed Shen Yue's character looking into the camera, whispering, "We were never acting." And the world knew this was more than a show. This was their story, and it had just begun. Someone they trusted betrayed them, Dylan and Shen Yue's shocking discovery after their return. The trailer for Unwritten had just dropped, but the storm was far from over. The video was only 2 minutes long, but in that short time, the entire internet felt like it had flipped upside down. The visuals were powerful. The storytelling was raw. And at the very center of it all were Dylan and Shen Yue, no longer hiding, no longer afraid. But even as the world stood still to witness their transformation, something darker was already unfolding behind the scenes. It began with an anonymous message. No name, no signature, just a private DM to Shen Yue's studio account. Not everyone in your circle is loyal. One of them gave you up. At first, Shen Yue thought it was another troll, another fake account trying to get attention. But then came the second message. The island you ran to, someone knew before you even boarded the plane. They sold your location before your wedding night was even over. That one stopped her cold. She showed the message to Dylan. His jaw clenched. He didn't say a word, but his silence spoke louder than anything else. Because he had a feeling, a name he didn't want to say out loud. They turned to the only person who could help, the same one who helped them escape the island weeks before. It was the director of a canceled drama they had once filmed together. A quiet man, a genius with scripts, but more importantly, someone who had left the industry after what he called too many lies at the top. He agreed to help them, but only under one condition. If you open this door, he said, you need to be ready for what comes out. Because once you see it, you can never go back. Dylan and Shen Yue agreed. Within days, he traced the IP address behind the messages. What he uncovered made their stomachs drop. The location led back to a private apartment in Beijing. And the person renting it was someone they had once called family, Shen Yue's former assistant. Not just any assistant. She was her best friend in university. The same woman who held Shen Yue's veil at the wedding. The one who gave the speech that made everyone cry. Her name was Li Yun, and she had betrayed them. When confronted, she denied everything. But the evidence was undeniable. Wire transfers, emails, audio recordings. She had been paid to leak their honeymoon location, to plant hidden mics in their villa, to record private conversations, all in exchange for an exclusive deal with a powerful producer, one who wanted to destroy the couple's public image and use the fallout to launch a new series starring someone else. Shen Yue collapsed in tears. Dylan was silent again. This time, not out of shock, but because he was trying to stay calm. They had given this woman everything. Trust. Friendship, even a role in their company, and she had sold them out for a deal. The worst part? She had done it with a smile on her face the entire time. It would have been easy to go public, to name and shame her. But Dylan and Shen Yue didn't want revenge. They wanted truth. So they made a decision. They filmed it all. A private sit-down interview. Just the two of them, sitting in the very same cabin from before. Shen Yue spoke first. I loved her like a sister, but she saw us as a stepping stone. Dylan added, betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes, it comes from the people you least expect. The interview ended with one final message to their fans. No matter what happens next, we will face it together. With eyes open, with hearts clear.